Hi everybody, it's Noelia with My Moxie Dreams. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a plan with me and my pocket Moleskine daily. I don't even know what week it is, you guys. I just know we're in November and I'm like shocked. That's all I can tell you. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this kind of content. And if you do, I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. For everybody else, welcome back. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, if you have been following me on Instagram or here in my last video, you know that I just got back from Texas. I went to it was a mom and son trip. We went to go see the Dallas Cowboys. It was a brutal loss, like brutal. And I went to go visit my dad who lives in the Rio Grande Valley. So we had 2 days of travel, and I'm going to tell you the chaotic trip we had. So buckle in, go get a drink if you want. It is going to be crazy sauce stories. And yeah. Okay, so let's just dig in here. Let's just make sure we are in week 46 based on this calendar down here, week 46. And if you remember, last week we did Monday because I knew that was going to be a travel day, and that is that. So we're going to be using 990 and we're just going to get started. You know what? I just realized I didn't get any of my stickers out. Let me get my stickers out. All right, here is my thingamabobs, and my thingamabobs. Okay, that way we know what the heck we're doing and I don't get sidetracked. Okay, back to this, 990. All right, so I have had, is this the right color? Yes. I have had this trip in the book since we got these tickets right as preseason finished. We are diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. We've been all of my life. I'm 48, and all of my kids' lives, which my eldest is 32, and he just is a diehard. And so he didn't want to do his normal trip on his birthday, which we always go to my boss's Tahoe house and we spend he invites all his best friends and their families and we do a thing. He didn't want to do this year. So he was kind of really like, didn't want to do anything. So I surprised him with 50-yard line tickets. It was amazing. They're club tickets, so everything was included, drinks, food, etc. And so we decided we were going to do this trip, he and I. And so we flew out, 13, where are you, 13? I think it's right here. We flew out on a Thursday, arrived in Texas, I think it was about 5. And then we just chilled. We checked into the hotel. And I'm going to tell you guys, I am spoiled. I think it's because my boss got me this way, but I am spoiled. Like, I'm used to really good hotels that have room service and a restaurant, so that, you know, if we get lazy or whatever and we just want to stay in, we can order in. When we got there, I could tell very quickly that I had made an error in the hotel. It was kind of just a basic hotel. It had a bar, pool table. It was a nice little area, but no room service and no restaurant, which I already knew. Oh my God. The layout of this hotel. Sorry guys, I had an issue with the camera. I don't know what happened, but if you get a different layout, I'm sorry. I don't know what the heck's going on with my camera. Anyways, the layout of the hotel was so small and it was just, I can't even tell you. So, but we dealt with it. It was just like, whatever, we were fine. So we landed, there was a Asian restaurant right next door, so we went and had dinner, and then we just came back to the hotel in Dallas and we just chilled out. We knew we had to get up early in the morning because the next day we were going to see my dad, who lives in the Rio Grande Valley, and we had to fly into a really small airport in Harlingen. Okay, so we get to the airport, we call my dad the night before because he had no idea we were coming, and surprised him and told him we would be there the next morning. All right, everybody following? So when we knew that the visit with my dad was going to be a one-day visit, we knew we were going in that morning, and we were flying back to Dallas on at a 6 o'clock flight from Harlingen back to Dallas. So we get there, we have a good time with my dad, we take him out to eat. There was a whole issue with my dad that I'm not even gonna get into because it was bonkers. But we decide, okay, my dad is older, he's tired, he can't host the way he used to, so we leave a little bit earlier than normal. And we head to the airport, and so we get there probably 2 hours earlier than we were supposed to. Our flight was at 6, and we were probably there about 3:30, 4. It was really early because I could tell my dad was struggling a little bit. So we go to the airport, we sit at the bar, we have a meal, we're chilling out. Mind you, we didn't have any luggage. Excuse me. We didn't have any luggage with us. I just had my little Longchamp mini pouch that I had my inhaler, my wallet, little things. I had brought a portable charger. I have a mini portable charger. And what else? I don't know, just gum. I have a little emergency kit, whatever. I'll show you. I'll probably do a video because somebody asked me what fits into that little Longchamp, and a lot fits. So we get to the airport, and we were checked in, and we're just chilling, killing a lot of time. And I'm wishing at that point that I'd brought my Kindle, but there was no place to put it. We knew we were there for a day. So at about 4:30 or 5, our flight's at 6. We get an alert saying that our flight is delayed out of Dallas. So there was a plane coming from Dallas to Harlingen, and that flight was delayed. So it made our flight get delayed, which instead of coming at 6, our flight was now going to be 8, and we would get to Dallas at about 10:30. I think it was 10. 9, yeah. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. So we're like, crap, we're going to be here another, 2 hours, an extra 2 hours. So we're like, should we rent a car and go like explore for the next 3 hours or whatever it was until the plane came? And we decided not to. We decided just to chill out at the airport, have a couple of drinks, and just chill and relax. Again, it was our second day in a row of traveling. We had done SFO to Dallas, and then the next morning, really early, we had done Dallas to Harlingen. So I told my son, Chrissy, I'm like, listen, I'm going to be checking this to make sure that this plane in Dallas gets here. And if it doesn't leave at 6 p.m., we're screwed because it's the only flight coming in and out of Harlingen. And we're going to have to scramble. And sure enough, at 6 o'clock, due to the tornado and weather, I guess, in Dallas, I think it was that Raphael thing, our flight got canceled. So at 6:05, we figured, because we got an alert, your flight has been canceled. Everybody on that flight starts to scramble and run downstairs. So once you go downstairs, there's no TSA, right? You can't go back up without going through TSA and a ticket. So I'm like, oh my God. So I ran downstairs just like everybody else on that flight to go to the American Airlines and try to figure out what's next. Mind you, that was Friday. We flew in Thursday from San Francisco. Friday we went Dallas to Harlingen. And Saturday we had a Dallas Cowboy VIP tour scheduled at noon. And then Sunday was the game, and then Monday we would come back. So I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God, we're not going to make the tour. My son really wanted to do the tour. And I'm like, okay, stay calm. So I go to the American Airlines counter, and me, along with 70 other people, are trying to get on another flight for the following morning, because we knew there was no flights that day, right, that evening. Because of the weather in Dallas, there was no flights, no planes coming in and out, any other airline, nothing. And the next day, which was Saturday, all the flights had already been booked and everybody else was on standby. And there's no guarantee you're going to get on a flight. And Harlingen is so small. That airport is so small. So I'm panicking, and the girl at the, the girl at the counter, she was new. So here the other people are like working, and they're going through like 3 people, and the one girl's still working with me, and I'm like trying not to flip out, and like I was trying to stay calm because I was freaking out. And so finally one of the supervisors come over and he helps, right? And I'm like, there's nothing. He's like, no, we'll put you on standby for the 10 o'clock in the morning one, which would put us in at noon. And I doubt we would have made the tour. And my son is like, Mom, it's fine. Mind you, during all this time, we had been at the airport for hours before we even knew that the flight was canceled. So my backup power bank was already drained, and me and Chrissy's phones were now at like 27%. And I'm like, oh my God. And there was a store upstairs, but TSA wouldn't let you go back up because you didn't have an existing ticket, because your ticket had been, canceled. Your flight had been canceled. So as I'm working with the American Airlines girl, I tell my son, I go run over to Hertz and see if we can get a car, and maybe we'll drive the 7 hours through the storm to get back to our Dallas hotel. So I said, you go. And so he runs over to the Hertz and the car rental place, and they're like, sorry, we have, all the cars are rented out for the whole week. Like, we don't have any cars. So when I say I was freaking out, my son was freaking out, but I was freaking out internally. I don't freak out outwardly. I'm just like, it's fine. We're going to figure it out. Like, there's a solution. But at this point, I'm thinking we're not even going to make the Sunday game, because all the flights out of Harlingen were completely booked on Saturday. So I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I have American Express Platinum, okay? Thank God for American Express Platinum. Yes, it is a very hefty annual fee, but you get a bunch of perks. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really cost me anything because all the perks balance it out. So with that said, I'm at the counter. They give me a standby for Saturday at the Harlingen airport. Chrissy knows we have no flights. So I'm like, you know what? I need to call in American Express concierge, travel concierge, and see if they can pull a miracle for me. So I call them, and they try to get a car, and they're like, sorry, there's no car. All the cars, you're right, there's no cars for you. So what do you want to do next? And I'm like, well, where's the nearest airport? And she's like, let me check. And she's like, oh, the nearest airport is Corpus Christi. It's about 2 hours from, let me put these away. She's like, it's about 2 hours from where you are. And I'm like, okay, and she's like, but how are you gonna get there? And I'm like, figure it out, travel wizard lady from American Express. And she's like, all right, hold on. And so I'm like holding on for dear life, because my phone is kept going down and down in battery. And I told Chrissy, I said, go upstairs, tell the TSA agent what has happened, show him your phone, our thing has been canceled and we're on standby and we're stuck. If you can go to the store upstairs and buy us chargers. So the lady was such a sweetheart, and we have global entry and TSA, so they let him through. Okay, and he comes running downstairs. I'm on hold with the angel at American Express concierge, And she's like, there's no, she's like, there's a flight out of Corpus Christi at 6 a.m. that you can straight to Dallas. It'll get you in at about, I think it was 7:30 or 7:40. I don't even remember what time the flight was. But it got us into Dallas at like 8:40 or something. And she's like, you need to go back to the American Airlines desk and tell them that you want that flight, because it was $1,700 for a one-way flight. And let me just put YouTube so I know that I'm recording. I need to edit and upload. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm still on the phone. We're charging my phone, and I go back to the American Airlines, and he's like, I tell him what I need, and he's like, yeah, he's doing all this magic, and he's like, okay, I put you back in business class. You're on the first, not standby. I have an actual ticket that we know for sure. We if we get to Corpus, if we find a way to get to Corpus, we will get back to Dallas by 8:39 a.m. So I'm like, okay, first thing's done. We got an actual ticket back to Dallas first thing in the morning. So then we were like, okay, now what? Now I'm going into my everyday carry just to make sure what I have scheduled this week. I don't think I have anything scheduled this week, which is great. And so she's like, okay, now what? And I'm like, look, find a limo service, find a, black taxi, black car service, anything. Like, I don't care what it costs me, just get me a private car service. So my son's like, I'm going to try Uber. And so I'm still on the phone with American Express, and she's like, okay, I found a black car limo service, and they're going to charge you $1,000 to take you 2 hours to Corpus Christi. I'm like, I don't care, book it. So my son's like, I'm going to try Uber. So he tries Uber, and a guy pulls up, and I'm still on the phone with American Express, and she's like, oh, did you get a ride? I'm like, just hold on, because I have a feeling this guy doesn't realize he's taking us to Corpus. And sure enough, the guy comes up. He's like, hey, are you Noelia? I'm like, yeah, you're taking us to Corpus, right? 2 hours away. And he's like, no, I didn't know that. He's like, sorry, I can't take you. I'm like, gee whiz. So at any rate, we had been at the airport since 3-ish. It is now 7:45. And my word, finally, my American Express girl is like, the private car service is going to pick you up at 8:30. They ended up arriving at 9. But by the grace of God, we had the chargers. So we're sitting on the floor charging our phones. We had nothing but the clothes on us and our phones and our wallets, thank God. My dad had no idea, because I didn't want to call my dad and stress him out. My dad's 77. Like, the last thing I want to do is call my dad and stress him out. I was like bonkers. The American Express girl got us the hotel in Corpus, like literally 3 minutes from the airport. She was able to get me underwear, pajamas, my son, underclothes, a travel kit that had deodorant. Like, she had it delivered to the hotel. So by the time the private car service got us to the hotel, everything was waiting there, so we could just take a shower, go to sleep, and then have to get up super early in the morning. We were exhausted. When I tell you that we were exhausted, we were exhausted. We get on the plane, barely make it, by the way. We were like running to go get on the plane. We make it. I'm getting my stickers here. I have my stickers. So at any rate, I don't remember how we got from the Dallas airport to our hotel in Dallas, because we were so exhausted. I just remember like taking off my sweats, putting my PJs on, and just jumping into bed and knocking out. We had made the decision that we weren't going to go to the VIP tour, because it was like we were so stressed and exhausted from the night before. It was just like, we're not doing it. Well, we ended up sleeping well in the Corpus Christi hotel, and then when we got to the Dallas hotel, we slept a good solid few hours. So we woke up at like 11 and my son's like, Mom, let's go. I'm refreshed. Let's go. So we get dressed and we go to the tour, a VIP tour, and we had so much fun. Then we went and had some drinks there. It was a rally day the day before. So there's a bunch of activities. We took some great pictures. We had a blast. And then the game, we had a blast. Like I said, we had kind of club tickets where we had everything included, our alcohol, our food. We had a blast. We were on the 50-yard line. I could see my son was just so happy to be there, but at the same time, it sucked because we lost. So that is the drama that is. And then Monday morning, we had a super early flight. And again, I don't know what my son, normally we're always an hour and a half early to the airport, and he was just being a nut. And we were literally running to every gate we went to. And so yeah, then we landed in SFO and it was pouring rain here. So it was just a crazy trip. Fun, but crazy. Okay, so I'm just glad to be home. My daughter and son, they just hugged me, and my daughter Belle was just, she was with me in bed all day yesterday after she came home from work. I miss them. Like, we're so close. It was just, so that was our trip. We're back. We're safe. I'll put some photos somewhere on the screen for you guys to see if you don't follow me on Instagram. But yeah, that was that. Now we're just going to quickly put our stickers, and that will be the plan with me today. I was chemo buddy on the 1st with Kieran, so we're just going to put this little chemo girl here. On Saturday, I just chilled and I played in my planners. Yeah, it was a lot, you guys. My son and I just made a decision that, you know, if we go visit my dad, we're just going to do it separate from, going to a Dallas Cowboy game. Like next year, we're definitely going. You know, I told my son, I'm like, look, you pick next year what game you want to go to, because he's like, I want to see a different whatchamacallit, why can't I speak? A different team every time we go. So we're going to go next year. Once the schedule comes out, we will know which game we'll go to, and then I already know what hotel we're gonna stay at. I think it's called Lowe's. It's way better than the one and I'm used to being spoiled. Like, I'm used to having access to, you know, I don't know, I'm spoiled. I can't help it. It is what it is. I was poor for so long that now that I'm not, I take advantage of good stuff. Okay. So that, let me put this here. Should I do this way? Because we're going to Texas. So yeah, so now we know where we want to stay. We had a wonderful dinner after the game. It was so much fun. Here's November 8th, Friday. We were stranded, had to drive to Corpus. I don't know what I'm doing. It was Fort Worth tornado warning, which is why they grounded the planes. So we'll put travel here because we traveled to Harlingen. I should probably put that, Harlingen. HRL. Had breakfast with Dad, which was so great. But this was a bad day, like beyond a bad day. This one's gonna have a lot of stickers. This little sticker, my sticker or my silhouette didn't do it right and it cut her in half. So I gotta which makes sense because she's cracked. Stranded, and then we had to drive to Corpus Christi. Lord, was that. I'm gonna add another freaking stranded. That's how bad this day was. That's gonna be covered in stickers. Okay, and then we flew back to Dallas here. I don't know what, this is how tired I was. We ordered Chick-fil-A. Look at how I spelled that. I was not even awake. I'm telling you, I was dead tired. We did our VIP tour at the AT&T Stadium. We had such a fun time that day, even though I don't even know how we had fun because we were exhausted. And then I read that whole evening, which was great. It was nice and sunny that day in Dallas. I actually loved the weather, but the Uber guys were telling me that the weather was nice because of the tornado. So there was like this cool, you know, this coolness to the day. I slept in, and then my coffee. We had a game. This is the cutest thing I could put as a game. My Longchamp, I was so afraid that they were not going to let me in with my mini Longchamp, but they did. And I tested it out because the day before when we went to the VIP tour, I took it with me because I had heard like if they won't let you take it in, they'll have you check your bag because there's not a lot of people, not as many people at the tours as the game, right? There's 80,000 people at the game as opposed to the tour, you're talking about 1,000 or so. And so I love this little mom life right here. Home sweet home. And then it was Veterans Day. And so I tested it out and they let me through, and I asked the people, I'm like, hey, will I have a problem tomorrow? She's like, you know, it was a woman and a couple of men. They're like, no, it totally fits within the size. So I had been looking at TikTok and everywhere else to try to figure out, like, can I, you know, take the Longchamp Mini in, and they allowed me to take it in. So for those of you wondering if you can take it in, yes, you can. All right, so here we go. There is our Monday or Friday the 1st chemo day. Tuesday, just chilled, played in my planners. Sunday, watched the Dallas Cowboy game, and we watched the movie Departed. Worked on Monday, ballots, editing. Completely cried on Tuesday. Cried. Okay. I had a spa day where I did lashes, pedicure, eyebrows, all the fun stuff. We left to Texas on Thursday. Visited my dad, as you can see here. Just a shit show of a day. Saturday, like I said, I don't even remember how we got from the airport to the hotel. I don't even remember ordering Chick-fil-A. That's how tired we were. But the VIP tour was amazing. I got to finish my book over the trip. Slept in, game, Veterans Day, home sweet home. All right, and then we have our week ready to go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, everyone, there is story time, crazy story time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys all know I'm crazy, and it never fails that something crazy happens to me when we're traveling. So that is that. Again, if you are new here, I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. And if you do, I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. For everybody else, welcome to my circus, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this crazy story, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.